I'm back with another educational beauty video today, and today's video is how to do a kind of celebrity inspired makeup look. This is basically how I work on celebrities. So this is the kind of like base that I do on my celebrities, on my VIP clients, if I'm working on royalty, if I'm working on VIPs, celebrities, all things like that. Like this is the kind of base that I do, and I really wanted to show you how I get that chiseled jawline, how I really sculpt the face, and you know, it is another form of underpainting, and I really do hope that you enjoy this. Don't forget, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And I'm over on Instagram, so don't forget to come and say hi there too. Let's now get started with this video. So I have nothing on my face. The only thing I have on is decent amount of moisturizer. So I have got a decent amount of moisturizer on because it's really important to have that type of tacky base prior to putting your foundation and your concealer and everything on. Now obviously this is, like I said, something that the way that I work on clients. So like if I have a celebrity, if I have a VIP client and they're maybe either on the red carpet or they are like have a photo shoot, something along those lines, when you want that really flawless finish, this is what you're gonna get, and this is what we're gonna do. So I really wanted to kind of like just show you guys so that you guys can kind of do this on yourself if you want to too, and you know all the tricks and tips. So we're focusing just on base, like I said, and yeah, let's get started. So I have a moisturizer on. You really want to make sure that the moisturizer is kind of a decent amount because you don't want your skin to be too dry underneath. We are going to be putting on quite a bit of kind of concealer in like cream product to help really sculpt the face. So it's really important to make sure that there's fluidity on the skin for it to kind of mix in. The worst thing that you could do is not have enough kind of hydration on the skin, and then your concealer looks kind of very patchy and muddy on the skin. We don't want that. We want a really nice kind of, just really kind of drenched in hydration kind of skin. I'm going to start off with doing my lids. I'm just going to apply a little bit of concealer on my lids. I'm using my Surat Dewdrops concealer. This is number 5. Is this 5? Yeah. So I am just going to paint this a decent amount over my lids. We're going to get the beauty blender and just buff that in. I want a really nice even base there. There you go. We've buffed that in. We're just going to set this. I'm using a setting powder, which is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder in light banana. I'm just dusting this powder off. I really want to get this done so that we can really focus on the sculpting. Now, I'm going to be using my Makeup Forever HD Skin Face Sculpting Palette. This is kind of like, honestly, a makeup artist's best friend. This is amazing because you can actually build up the coverage. It's very fluid on the skin, even though it's like a cream. And what we're going to be doing is really kind of like brightening certain areas. This is a very old school way of makeup. This is how a lot of other celebrity makeup artists work. We're going to be underpainting in a way, but we're really, really heavily sculpting the face before we go in with that foundation on top. Now, what I am going to be using is my trusted, I call this just my normal paintbrush because this reminds me of painting walls like when I was younger with my dad. This is perfect because it is a flat edge and it's very easy to get that really nice sculpting on the face. Now I am going to be using this, but on mainly like the darker areas where I'm really sculpting. Now the light shade that we're going to be using is my KVD Full Coverage Concealer in medium 126. I'm going to be using this on places which I really want to enhance. So what I'm doing is kind of painting this on the under eye here, which you've kind of seen me do this before on myself, but I'm really kind of showing you in detail today. So I'm really taking this kind of up close to the side of the nose and really making sure it is symmetrical. It's really important for me to make sure this whole area is quite bright. Now I am going to also apply this on other areas, and then I'm going to like kind of paint this all over, like kind of blend it in, which I'll show you. I'm going to get my Hollywood complexion brush from Charlotte Tilbury. And now this is where I'm just going to kind of buff this into the skin. And I'm keeping that shape kind of there, but just it's going to end up a bit bigger. Take that down the nose. I'm not doing the under eye area because I'm going to actually use my sponge for that. But this here, I'm really keeping it like in that same position. Just making sure it's all nicely blended. Right, we're going to go in with the sponge and we're really going to keep this in this area, but making sure that we blend it in. It's going to be extra bright on the under eye area right now. We are going to warm up the face, which I'm going to show you. Okay. And this also makes sure, like, it ensures that this stays kind of really well on the skin in like heavy lights. And if you start sweating, it's going to be sweat proof. It's really kind of everything proof, to be honest, the way that this is all set. You can see that it's all very kind of like mask-like at the moment because we've only got one color all over and it's very light. We're now going to go in with the dark shade. Now this is where I'm using my Makeup Forever face sculpting palette and my paintbrush. I'm going to go into a kind of pretty dark shade, which is this here, and we're going to use this to kind of really sculpt the face. So I'm applying the tip of the brush there. Now this is where we're going to actually start sculpting. It's quite a deep shade. This is going to help to really lift that area. I am also going to just take this up here a bit because I like it to be very warm there. I really focus on this bit to, you know, on the shape of the face, the shape that I'm making, like the shape that I want to create. And you've got to make sure that it's symmetrical. Okay, now we're really going to sharpen this jawline. We're going to go a little bit above the jaw. So like just a little bit, not too much. We're really kind of creating that sharp jawline there. Can you see? Right. Look at how nice and sharp that is. And we're taking that down into the neck area there. You can see it's created that shadow. You see that side and you see that side. We're going to just square off this jawline here. Literally cannot already wait to have a shower because this goes into all the like little corners of the face. Okay, I'm happy with that. I am going to get a dark, like a smaller brush and just apply this to my nose to really sculpt that area. So I'm going to just do like a little V and then kind of do the sides of the bridge of the nose. Now we are going to start blending this in. This is where I generally spend quite a lot of time because I've created the shapes that I want to create, but now really what I want to do is kind of blend it in, ensuring that I keep it in the place that I've applied it, but it just looks like the edges are nice and blurred because it's really going to help to shape the face and it's going to come through that foundation. Now I'm going to use my ambient lighting edit brush from Hourglass. It's got two sides to this, so I really do like how I can use this on areas that I want to keep sharp and this on areas which are a little bit larger. I don't think I'm really going to do the nose yet. I'm going to wait until the end, but now you're going to see where this is going to start kind of just being buffed into the skin. And you'll see the shape start to kind of like come to life and give our face, like, give it some dimension. I'm literally just kind of buffing. We're really keeping that shape, but we're just softening everything so it just doesn't look so harsh. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Can you see how we've got some shape there now, but it's still quite kind of like it's too much of a difference in color in terms of very light and then very dark. We're going to soften that up in a little bit. Now I am going to get the other side of the brush because I feel like this is actually going to work well for the nose. Even though it may look a bit big to you, as long as you know how you're kind of blending, you'll be all right. If you're not so used to this, you know, like precision, then I would use a smaller brush. I'm kind of happy with that. Now I am going to go over just with a bit of this concealer, just down the nose and just here. I'm just using my Dewdrops concealer just because it's easy to apply there. Now I'm going to get my sponge, just going to like soften that. This is just a good way of kind of re-enhancing areas. Sometimes they can get hidden when you start blending. There you go. Now it's always good to use a foundation which is kind of like not too full coverage, because obviously then we're just covering everything up and you're not going to let any of this sculpting come through. So I am going to be using my NARS Sheer Glow foundation, which is a really nice kind of foundation to use on top because it's just not too full coverage. And I've got this in the back of my hand, just getting my sponge, and I'm gonna now apply this all over, and you'll see that this sculpting underneath will still come through, and it just comes through in the most like beautiful way because it looks so subtle underneath the foundation, but obviously on like when you look at it before the foundation it just seems like it's too much. We're really going to pack this on all over the face. And can you see we're like really covering up that jawline area, but it's still going to come through. And that shadow right on that jawline is just coming through nicely. You've got to take your foundation onto the neck area so that it doesn't look so different. I always feel like when I'm powdering a client's face, like if it really depends on how long like they want the makeup to stay on, and also how, like, what kind of event they're going to. If it's a photo shoot or something like that where there's going to be a lot of lights, they're going to be under a lot of pressure in terms of like sweat and things like that, then I always pack the powder on with a powder puff. But if I'm working on someone who maybe is going to dinner or something like that, they still want it to look flawless, they want that whole full glam foundation, they want that sculpting, but they equally don't want it to look overly caked up, then I will brush it on and pack it on with a brush. Now, some people tend to think that, you know, but putting so much powder on can make you look older, it can look cakey. You know, powder is your best friend really when it comes to ensuring things do look flawless, because if you don't apply the powder, you're going to see texture. As soon as you've got like all this fluidity on the skin, when light bounces off of it, it really enhances the texture and it grabs hold of that light. So you really want to make sure that you do, you know, don't be afraid of powder. Even if you want to use a pressed translucent powder, something is still going to work. You know, it's better to use it than not use it at all. Now what I'm going to do is make sure there are no creases on this under eye area. You can use your sponge, you can use your finger, whatever you want to use, as long as you get rid of those creases. Now I'm going to use my Real Techniques brush and I'm going to really kind of press this in on the under eye area. Just don't be afraid of brushing the brush back and forth, but make sure it's very light, like you're not pressing too hard on the face. Okay, we're gonna apply this more or less all over. Now I'm going to get my One Size Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio, and I'm going to use the shade, I'm going to use Dragged for Filth, and this is my veil brush, and I'm going to basically sculpt, like go over with this bronzer just everywhere where I kind of sculpted, and it's just going to almost help to set it, but also really enhance those areas that I did apply that kind of sculpting underneath. Okay, I am going to very quickly do my brows because I just want them shaped so I can finish off the rest of the face. I'm going to use my Benefit Goof Proof Brow Powder in number 4, which is Warm Deep Brown. And I'm using my E75 Sigma Beauty brush. I am literally just going to shape my brows with this. I really haven't used powder in ages, like on myself, but I do use powder a lot on my clients because I feel like it does allow for a softer brow. Okay, so brows are done. I'm gonna very quickly add some mascara. If you do want to see this kind of like my celebrity version, kind of like full look, maybe with, you know, eyes and everything done, or maybe just the eye makeup, then let me know in the comments box below and I will also kind of maybe do a video on that, like a full look, because I'm really focusing on the base for this. So I'm just adding some mascara, then I can finish off the base so I can show you what that looks like. Now I am going to be using some blush. I'm using my Dior blush, which is the Rosy Glow blush. This is 001 Petal. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 108 brush, and I'm just packing on that colour onto the brush. And this is where I'm just going to apply it just along this area here. So it's kind of above where I added the bronzer. And this is really going to just help to give that colour to the face. I really love this blush. I'm going to use my Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Powder Duo in 01 Mood Light and my 134 brush from Zoeva. I'm using the darker shade at the bottom, which is more of a rose gold. And I'm really going to pack this onto the peaks of the cheekbone. Just anywhere where you feel that you want that kind of glow. And this is just a good way of adding that kind of really nice luminosity to the skin in a way that you know that it's not going to slide off because everything's so nice and like kind of matte. So basically that's more or less it. I'm just going to add a little bit of lip liner to finish this off. And then this is my Rare Beauty, nearly, wow, I cannot read that. Let's just like zoom in with my phone for a minute. Oh my gosh, what does that say? Nearly Petal. Oh my God, why is that like so difficult to see? Yeah, that's Nearly Petal. I am going to take it just along the top. That does help to make the lips look a little bit bigger. There you go, guys. That is my kind of Hollywood makeup look. So this is what I use on like celebrities and VIP clients. This is the base that I do because it really helps to chisel the face, sculpt it, but also you've got that really nice kind of blush coming through, and you've got that super razor sharp jawline, which I feel like everyone kind of like wants. So yeah, I really do hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. Don't forget to let me know if you do want to see like a full celebrity style eye makeup, like how I would do a full look, or if you just want to see the eyes, let me know and maybe I'll do a full entire look, like with the eyeshadow, with a smoky eye makeup, like everything that I would do for a really glam kind of like celebrity look. So let me know in the box, in the comments box below. And wherever you are, I'm sending you loads of love. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.